something has gone wrong. A deadline missed, a customer upset, a number that does not add up. And before the conversation even starts, most managers have already done one thing. They have decided what happened. The story is assembled, the cause identified, the verdict reached. Then, the conversation opens with that verdict. And from that moment, it is not a conversation, it is a sentencing. The person stops explaining and starts defending. You learn nothing. They learn less. There is a better opening, and it takes about 9 words. This is about what to say after something goes wrong. 3 conversations, and the order matters. Start with what you actually know, not what you have concluded, what you observed. Here is how I currently understand what happened. Currently, that one word does a great deal of work. It says, this is my version, and it might be incomplete. Then, the 9 words that change the conversation. Before we go further, I want to hear your view. And then you stop talking. Most managers skip this step because it feels slow. It is slow. It is also the only way to find out what actually happened. Because you are missing something. You always are. The context they had, the constraint you could not see, the instruction they were given. Then, the second question, and this is the important one. What was your thinking at the time? Not what went wrong. What were you weighing? Because a mistake is usually a decision that looked reasonable from where they were standing. If you can see what it looked like from there, you can fix the thing that made it look reasonable. If you cannot, you are just telling someone to try harder. Then, and only then, you look forward. Looking back, is there anything you would do differently? Let them answer it. Most people are harder on themselves than you would be. And the last question is the one that gets forgotten entirely. What could we put in place to help you avoid this next time? Process, support, a second pair of eyes, a clearer brief. That question moves the fix from the person to the system, which is usually where the fix belongs. 2 things to avoid here. Do not sugarcoat it. Be clear about what went wrong. Vagueness is not kindness. It just means they leave unsure whether it mattered. And do not make it personal. The action and its impact, not the person and their worth. Frustration is understandable. Leading with it shuts down learning. The second conversation is different and harder. This is not one mistake. It is the third one like it. Missed deadlines, quality slipping, the same correction twice. And it is the conversation most managers put off the longest. Because the first one was forgivable, and this one is about a pattern. Patterns need a different opening. Describe the run of it, not the latest example. Over the past few weeks, there have been 3 examples. Specific, dated, not a feeling. Because you have been dropping the ball lately is just a verdict, again. Then comes the most useful question in the whole toolkit. Would you say this is more of a knowledge gap, a skill gap, or a focus gap? 3 words, and they do something powerful. A knowledge gap is something they have not learned yet. That is a training problem, cheap to fix. A skill gap is something they understand but cannot yet do reliably. That is a practice problem. It needs reps and time. A focus gap is something affecting their attention or their energy. That is a workload problem or a life problem, and it is usually the real one. Burnout, a sick parent, a bad patch, too many priorities at once. Managers almost always assume the first 2. It is almost always the third. And notice what the question actually does. It turns an accusation into a diagnosis. You are no longer asking why they are failing. You are asking which kind of help they need. That is the difference between a trial and a conversation. Then close it properly. Agree what improvement looks like, and by when. Specific enough that both of you would recognize it. 2 traps here as well. Do not avoid the conversation hoping it resolves itself. It will not. And do not jump to solutions before you have listened. The solution you bring is for the problem you assumed. The third conversation is the one nobody plans for. You are halfway through and it stops working. They go quiet, or defensive, or their voice changes. Whatever you say next is not being heard. This is the moment to stop pushing. Not because they are fragile, because nobody learns while they are defending themselves. So name it without judgment. I think we both care about this, and I want to make sure we talk it through properly. Then offer the pause. Can we take a short break and come back to it with a bit more space to think? Most managers read a pause as failure. It is the opposite. A deliberate pause builds trust. Avoidance erodes it. And the words matter here. This is not about avoiding the issue. It is about making sure it is handled well. Slow your voice. Lower the intensity. You are modeling the reset you want them to make. Then pick it up later, deliberately. Thanks for stepping back earlier. That was the right call. When emotions run high, it is easy to lose the thread. And the relationship and the issue both come out intact. 3 conversations. The mistake, where you ask before you conclude. The pattern, where you diagnose instead of accuse. The moment it stops working, where you pause instead of push. None of it is soft. Every one of them ends with something changing. That is the difference between accountability and blame. Blame needs someone to carry it. Accountability needs something to change. The full toolkit has the word-for-word scripts for all 3 and 9 more. Download it free at bettermanagers.club/toolkit. Better Managers Club. For managers leading in an AI-driven workplace